Hi, I'm Dr. Sean. I'm the naturopath at StrengthNU, your fitness and therapy experts. If you found from your training at StrengthNU that you find yourself very achy or notice that you've got pain and redness in some of your joints, you may be suffering from acute inflammation, and that's what I want to talk about today. So signs of acute inflammation are redness, swelling, heat, and immobilization. In other words, range of motion issues. Commonly on the market, there are things that people take on a regular basis which can be helpful temporarily, but if taken over long periods of time, can be problematic. So we're talking about acetaminophen, which is Tylenol, ibuprofen, which is Advil, or naproxen, which is sort of non-steroid and anti-inflammatory. These drugs are commonly taken and they can be helpful in certain regards, but long-term can cause ulcers and gastric bleeding. I'm not saying don't ever take these. These have value at certain points, but if you're going to be training on a regular basis and pushing yourself hard, you're going to want something that works a little bit more naturally and doesn't have any issues with stomach and also possibly adversely affect your liver. There's some very simple interventions that we use naturopathically that can really help with reducing inflammation and strengthening you to keep you going through your training schedule and regime. One of the most common, and it sounds super simple, but it's very effective, is something called hydrotherapy. Using hot and cold water in contrasting methods can be very valuable at increasing circulation and reducing inflammation. You can do this both locally, so you can apply it to a local area that's inflamed, like a thigh or an ankle or a knee, or you can do it systemically with contrasting showers. Hot for about a minute and then cold as you can take it for about 30 seconds. And then going back and forth, alternating a few times, and then always ending on cold. That stimulates the immune system and circulation and will really help strengthen your whole system in general. If you're not a big fan of cold water, which a lot of people aren't, there's something called Castor Oil that's really effective at reducing inflammation, increasing circulation, and breaking down scar tissue. It's not uncommon to have injuries from previous training or sports, and if you've torn ligaments or if you're lifting a lot of weights really hard, tissue injury and muscular strains are very common. And so sometimes when those micro tears, you build up scar tissue. So castor oil can be very effective at breaking down that scar tissue and bringing back full function of your muscles. Other components naturopathically that we use, curcumin is something that's on the market and every company seems to be putting out their version of it. It's a very helpful herb, but it needs to be taken properly. So there are occasionally a lot of people that are just taking the spice in ground form and thinking that will help. It will, but you need mountains of it in that form in order to take it. So make sure whatever brand you're getting, that there needs to be a pepper component and a fat component. Both those components are very helpful for absorption. Or Arnica Cream, which is a botanical that's great at dealing with bruisey, achy muscles at the end of a workout. Very helpful. You can take it even before you work out prophylactically, or you can use it afterwards and just rub it over the local area, and a lot of people find that there's a lot of benefit from it. So the last thing I wanted to suggest was a couple herbs that are known as adaptogens. Both these herbs had a lot of research in the Soviet Union back in the 70s and the 80s, and they help endurance and they help recovery, which is super important for everybody here. And the two herbs are rhodiola and eleutherococcus. And those are herbs that you can find commonly at any health food store, and easy to find and easy to use. If you're struggling with inflammation, or if you wanted different options instead of using over-the-counter medication that long-term can cause problems, and if you have any questions, please just come see me at StrengthNU and I'll help you out. I'm Dr. Sean, naturopath for StrengthNU. And remember, you're one strategy away from crushing your fitness goals.